I'm Lisa DeAngelis. My subspecialty is Neuro-Oncology, and I'm chair of neurology at Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Center in New York City. I came to medical school completely unformed, if you will. I had no particular inclination into one area or the next. I very much enjoyed our neuroscience preclinical course, which was very exciting, but it wasn't until I did my third-year clerkship on neurology that I realized I had found my intellectual home. And that was really determined based on how exciting I found the field and the enthusiasm of the residents that I was working with. Neuro-oncology appealed to me for a number of reasons. As I was considering in what area to do a fellowship, one of the challenges for me was I did not want to be restricted to a particular part of the nervous system. I didn't want to spend my whole life, for example, in the basal ganglia or the peripheral nerves, and I liked the spectrum of neurologic disease that involved the entire nervous system. So neuro-oncology fit that bill. The other aspect of the field that drew my attention was it has a very strong interface with internal medicine. So patients with neuro-oncologic illness really have many medical issues and medical problems, and in part it's the study of how the nervous system responds to illness that affects the rest of the body. My career path, I think, is not as straightforward as it might look from the outside. So, for example, I think when people look at senior physicians, it appears as if their career path was a straight line that always had a definitive purpose and plan. But in point of fact, it's rarely a straight line, and there's a lot of happenstance that comes into play. I was extraordinarily fortunate to go to Memorial Sloan Kettering to do a fellowship there, and I have been there for my entire professional career. I was fortunate enough to have a wonderful mentor in Jerome Posner, who guided me throughout the course of my career, but who also created opportunities for me to grow and develop areas of expertise that I could call my own. My specific areas that became my clinical research focus was an accident in a way. One of my areas of concentration has been on a rare brain tumor called CNS lymphoma. And as a fellow, we began to see 2 or 3 patients in that year with this disease. This was extraordinarily uncommon. And Dr. Posner said to me, "You know, I think there's something going on with this disease. Why don't you go do something about it?" That was the opportunity for me to create an entire clinical trials program that centered around a disease that was actually, in fact, becoming much more common than we had appreciated previously. So that was not a plan, or it wasn't really by design. It was an opportunity. I was given guidance and was able to capitalize on it in developing my own career as a young faculty member. Neurology has so many opportunities to offer young people, be them clinical, translational, or basic science. So I think you can envision the entire spectrum of career opportunities within the field of neurology. I think the big challenge often is for young faculty, young academic investigators who are trying to develop their career and to be successful over the long haul in developing a research program, whether it is a clinical or a laboratory-based research program. And for those people, I think you can't emphasize enough the importance of focusing. and remaining really focused on the target of their research and to do their very best to try and eliminate the activities that can be important, maybe even interesting and fulfilling, but ultimately a distraction from really achieving their goal. And if anything, in terms of seeking support from mentors, what they need is for their mentors to help them eliminate these distractions, or at least reduce them to a minimum. I'd like to think that there have been a variety of ways in which I've contributed to neurology, but probably the area of the largest lasting contribution has been in the robust training program that we have in Neuro-Oncology as a fellowship, but also I'm very involved in resident education as well. And I think that educating the next generation of neurologists and neuro-oncologists is a lasting legacy that I hope will continue our work for many decades to come.